All right.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, yes.
Woo-wee.
Welcome back.
Another week. Dude, I feel like every time I'm here, I'm like, a week gone by already?
Week goes by quick. Time goes by fast. I mean, it's incredible how quickly it's moving.
Mm-hmm. Well, nonetheless, welcome back to the You Experience podcast, hosted by, yours truly, Nate and Vic over there.
Yep.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a great week. Enjoying the rain. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the rain.
Nice
It was beautiful. It was nice. Staying safe out there. Today's episode, though, it's gonna be like an exclusive, kind of just a special edition, kind of get to know Vic a little bit. And let me tell you why before we get started. So I have a psychology project coming up, a paper to write, and I got to choose a subject. And since I talk to you a lot, I'm like, let me see if he would be down. And it's questions that I got to ask him, and I got to write a paper about it. And I think this was the best. It's kind of killing two birds with one stone. It's getting my project out of the way, and it's also getting a chance for the viewers to like get to know kind of who you are a little bit. You're a little Batman in some cases. You're a little you're a little Batman, Superman kind of in a way. So I'm just gonna ask you some of these questions, and you're just gonna explain and tell your story. But before we go, do you remember that college class that I'm taking, and that we had a research how I was doing about how books influence confidence and whatnot? Remember that? Do you remember that? So that whole thing is you choose a group of people in your class.
Okay.
And you have a project. So there's obviously there's more people in that class. So they have their own group. So other people did groups. It was like 5 groups. Mm-hmm. So we did the one about books and its confidence. Mm-hmm. So the winner of whoever, like the person, because we had to vote. We voted on who did the best. So like we had a sheet of paper.
The students themselves?
Yeah, us students voted who had the best presentation. Mm-hmm. And we had a piece of paper, and we had a rubric, like how many points. And at the end of all the groups and all that, we
won?
We won.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Good job.
yeah. We had the best. I wouldn't say the best, but we got graded higher. And I just want to shout out my group members, the effort they put, and everyone else's presentation was great. I thought we weren't gonna. I mean, there was other great presentations, but now, so now we're going on to the second round, which is now. So all the freshmen, each of that college class, because all the freshmen have to take that class. Mm-hmm. So each class had their own presentations and presenters in their own classroom. So the winners of that are going against every winner is going against everyone, and like the winner of all that wins $1,000. So nice. It's like it's a money. There's money in there.
Okay.
So now we're stepping up to the big league. So now I gotta I was telling my group, like, now we gotta sharpen the tools a little bit, get more information done, and just present. And again, for me, I'm not in it for the money. I just want to see if I can like make an impact or like get people to realize something about books and reading and how it's important. But I just wanted.
So you're going to take the same presentation to that.
Yeah.
So
with the little modifications.
Yeah, you are making a modification.
Yeah, modifications, because there were some questions that the students were asking us that we didn't have answers to, and we're like, that's what we got to figure out. We got to figure those answers out. But nonetheless, I just wanted to share that because I'm proud. I'm very proud in that. It's cool to see, like, and it's crazy. Like in my head, I'm like, I got this. Yeah. And like we scored by like a couple 100 points. Like we got higher. So just wanted to share that. So shout out to my team members out there. Okay. But yeah,
and you're sharing about books and getting people, maybe to question it a little bit and say, hey, maybe we should look into this.
Something in that book that I'm reading, right? The Deep Work, Cal Newport. He says, like, the purpose of like a research is like, is it impactful? Like, you're doing a good research if it's impactful. If not, like, if it's not impactful to like a society, like, it's probably not.
Okay, so on that, so I got this, I got these things, these little cards with, since you're going to be questioning me, I want to at least have the opportunity to ask you 3 questions.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay,
that's
you
fair.
good with that?
All right, that's it. But nonetheless,
and it kind of goes into what you're just saying. But go ahead, finish off there.
So I mean, yeah, I think we're ready to start going, dude. Are you ready for these questions? I'm gonna come firing at you, baby.
Left hook, right hook.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna come firing at you. So look, I just want you to be honest. Tell us the most you can, and if I feel like I can ask you
If I
more.
get stuck in a question, you're gonna have to skip it. Maybe we'll talk deeper.
Yeah. Well, we can.
we'll come back to it or something.
Yeah. We'll come back.
Okay.
But let's get it started. So you guys are about to hear what Vic's kind of who he is and how he is to be. So
what developed?
Let's get it, baby.
Okay.
All right. So interview questions.
Whoa, wait.
All right.
You want me to ask you 3 questions now, or you want me to ask them at the end?
Now, get them out of the way.
Okay, let's get them out of the way. All right. So
before we start,
because okay, cheers to you winning that.
Oh yeah,
that
appreciate
contest.
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So go ahead.
And this kind of goes into what you were saying about Khan Newport, right? Is it creating impact?
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's kind of I've been focused on reading a lot of Jeff Bezos's letters to investors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of if you look at that, you will understand why Amazon is as successful as it is. I think it's very clear and very, very obvious in them. So as I was looking at that, is just his focus, his laser-like focus on what his goal was, right? And that's what deep work goes a lot into, right? It's focus, it's determined focus on the one single thing that matters the most for a concentrated portion of time, right? It doesn't have to be everything, but for a very concentrated portion of time. And because that's what creates impact, and that's how you make anything move, right? If you're looking to get your body in shape, the easiest way is to focus on whatever you want. You want to grow bigger arms? Well, you focus on your arms. You do more workouts for your arms, right? You work on the supporting muscles. You want to get really smart at one subject? Well, guess what? You got to focus on that, right? You want to pass your test or whatever. You focus on whatever necessary for you to pass that test.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, I'm a big believer that don't focus on just the test. Focus on truly understanding the concepts, because when you do truly understand the concepts and what connects into them, it's when you really see the entire picture. And when you see the entire picture, it's very easy to have those kind of connections that you might not have had if you just kind of understood one portion of it, as opposed to the whole entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
And everything in life is an ecosystem, just as we are an ecosystem of earth and bugs and parasites and nano particles and all that stuff. And so are the stars and the galaxies and all that stuff, right? So back to the question that I wanted to ask you.
Let's go. Let's do it.
So I got these cards, really cool cards, from the Diary of a CEO.
All right.
Which is, Stephen Bartlett's pod, which is actually a really good pod.
Shout out to that pod.
Shout out to you guys there.
Yeah.
Great work. I love kind of how it all comes together. So here's one that I'm going to ask you.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Scared a little bit.
Dun, dun, dun. So what are the failures you cherish the most?
If I'm being honest, the failures of
just an ultimate failure that when you think back at it, you're like, man, during that time, that transition time, it was difficult. But you know what? I'm happy that happened because now it made me who I am. My
universal experience.
Universal experience.
That failure right there, just like drinking, that experience right there. I'm sure I think I shared it. We finally shared it publicly.
You shared it in your session.
Yeah. And I think that failure shifted my life. Mm-hmm. That one right there is what turned everything around, because every time I think about that story, it's just wild how, first of all, how it happened, and then where I ended up, and everything I still had with me. I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose my life. I didn't take a life. Yeah, that was the failure that I cherish very much, because ultimately that's what shifted everything, from drinking like that to being lost who I was, speaking to you about it, and just changing. Like ever since then, I've been different, and I'm grateful I'm happy it happened. Obviously, I don't want it to happen. Like, it's not a good thing to happen, but it happened, and I'm here today, and I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, that's a good failure for me personally.
If you could go back and learn the lesson without it, you would. Yeah. But it happened, and nobody else was hurt from it.
Yeah, thankfully.
And you
maybe emotionally, a lot of people were hurt. My mom, friends in there involved, but ultimately, I'm very grateful that it happened because it's who I am today.
It transformed
made
you.
me who I am today. So it's a great question.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the next one. You ready for that one?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, this one has a happy face in it.
All right. All right.
What do you promise to do to make our world a better place?
Ooh. Promise to make this successful, this podcast successful, because I genuinely feel, I personally feel that I can share, I can connect with a lot of people somehow, some way. I'm able to talk to people, and there's something there. There's some special energy going.
The king of the witty witty.
King of the weedy weedy.
Yeah.
And if I can promise to make that here, and just who I am, who we are as a dynamic, like as a duo, we're a pretty dynamic duo, you know? Just considering like age difference, life difference, but also like, I don't know, we're kind of like that DNA pattern, like we just somehow connect with,
Helix.
you know? And that promise is like to make this work, because this is what I want to work. I need this to work, because the impact that we already have on people that we talk to on a daily basis, and like this can reach millions. And like we could change millions of lives. Stop it. Stop it. That's the promise. I have to do this. I have to. This is all I care about. I mean, I care about other things, but like, this is my main focus. Like, this is my goal. This is what I live for. Literally, this right here, this area here is what I live for.
Okay. I got a vacuum cleaner. It also needs to be vacuumed, so. Just kidding. I vacuum.
So that's the promise. The promise is to make this as successful as it possibly can be, so I can therefore give back. I just want to give back and see others happy. I saw a video the other day of this guy who goes around, like, I think I sent it to you. But he gave a homeless man a house. Like, he bought him a house. Like,
I don't think so.
There's people that donated to this foundation that this guy created to get this homeless guy a house. And like, they bought him a house, and he's like, I have a surprise for you. Close your eyes. They gave him a key, and they're like, this is your house. And the homeless man just like it was emotional video.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I want to do, because that's what it feels good. Like, I thought about that video, like, this guy had probably no hope left in society. Nothing. Like, he's homeless. He's homeless. But this guy got him a house. Stop it, man. Like, I need to do that. I need to do that to this world. I need to change this world. I need to make an impact.
Yeah, there's a gentleman, I can't think of his name right now, but he does that as well.
Might be the same guy we're talking about.
No, he does it in El Salvador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I
Dang,
forget
you see
his
what I'm
name, but
saying?
he's like going out, he gets some clothes, get some food, all that kind of stuff, and it's through the donations of all the people, right?
Yeah.
So he'll put it out.
People
so
working
he's
together.
A connector,
Yeah.
correct? He's a connector, and it's through everybody kind of coming together, and that's really, it's been a topic that I want to talk about a lot of the time, and oddly enough, it kind of came to mind by listening to the Pokemon theme song.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching the guy who actually sang the song.
Oh yeah.
And when you pay attention to the lyrics, if you really true go past beyond it as Pokemon and like really pay attention to the lyrics, you'll realize that it's different beings working together for one common goal. And I really think that's kind of what we need to do in society right now. We're so divided. We're so independent of each other and so separate. And you're this and you're that color, you're this color, you're that creed, you look like this, and you think that way. And right, we're so divided amongst in so many different things that we cannot work together to save our lives. And that's literally what's happening.
Yeah.
But all thanks to a Pokemon song.
Well, thank you for that question, baby.
So, all right, you ready for the final
question? Let's go. Let's knock it out.
All right,
12 round right here.
This is it.
Let's go.
This is where you're either gonna get the Mike Tyson punch, or you're gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Let's get it.
All right. So, why do you do what you do?
Simple. Cause I wanna make an impact in this world. I want to change this world. I want to, as crazy as it sounds, that we're just here filming, and like I'm just a young 23-year-old man. Like, as crazy as it sounds, like I truly believe that I can make an impact somehow, some way. And like I just do it because nothing makes me happier than seeing other people happy.
Mm.
And if I can see the world happy, I might die of happiness. I might die being too happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's the reason I do, when I see my brother happy, when I see my dad, my mom, my family, you,
Do you know
anybody
what would make me happy right now? Some in and out. So if you want to contribute, the pocket is open. And the belly's open. Actually,
You see, as a successful podcast that we'll have, I'm gonna have connections with In and Out
you're gonna
themselves,
have the truck outside.
and I'm gonna say, you want In and Out? Bring the truck around. You're gonna hear a helicopter drop you a freaking burger right here. But yeah, that's what I do it for.
Yeah.
I do it because I want to see other people happy. This life we live, it's only one life.
One life.
Like, we are here and we're gone. So why not, when we're here, be happy, be excited, be multiply, be like
Be fruitful.
Fruitful.
Be creative. Find
You
the
know?
thing that sparks your life.
why not be that? We're here so quick. We're here in a short amount of time. You may think like you have a lot of time, but really it's fast. It comes up quick and it catches on.
You
And
don't. Yeah,
Wha-
it's when older folks used to tell me, "Hey, cherish the moments you spend because time flies by." So now that I sit there and think, I'm like, they were so right. Yesterday, I was doing my thing, and I time myself when I do my push-ups, right, because I'm trying to get down to a certain point. So yesterday I was doing 1,200 push-ups, and I timed my first 500, and lo and behold, my time went up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And every single time that I timed it, it just time was happening so fast.
damn.
Right. And then it's just kind of a thing is there's a disconnect between how fast time is moving and how our perception of that time moving is.
Yeah.
So I think once you begin to kind of figure out a way to connect those two, you're going to see how fast time is flying by.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. We're at the end of the year now. It's Christmas almost again. It's Thanksgiving in 2 weeks, and it's Christmas again. And it just felt like the year just kind of halfway through.
I mean, my birthday's in March. Remember what happened? I remember what happened in March on my birthday. All those cars came through. Remember all the
The McLarens,
all those cars.
that car
Like,
club.
that felt not too long ago. Like my birthday's in March,
Yeah.
3 months into the year,
Mm-hmm.
and that happened, and we're already here, which is why you got to just cherish
That's
moments.
right, because you did work on that.
I worked that day, just so you know,
Yeah.
just so you remember.
Yeah, and then you lo and behold, because this spoiled little brat gets everything he wants from the world, he was like your dream car has always been a McLaren.
Yep,
Right.
that's
So
the car.
That's your car, and lo and behold, we get like 10 McLarens, like 12 Ferraris, like 10 Lamborghinis, a few Rolls Royces.
It was like a car
It
club,
was a car club.
and I remember taking pictures of all the McLarens lined up on the ramp.
Yeah.
And I had that picture, and I'm just like, I'm meant for that.
Yeah,
I'm meant.
nice.
This is meant to happen. I'm telling you.
nice.
I promise.
That was a
I
highlight.
promise.
I think that was a highlight of the year.
Yeah, definitely was.
So.
But I appreciate the questions.
All right, good questions, good answers, and
But lo and behold, it's VIC's time.
Let's go.
All right, man. Let's get to it.
let's go.
Let's get to it. You ready?
Okay.
You ready? You want a sip of water first?
Yeah,
you might need to get a sip of water
make
because
sure that we're hydrated.
ahorita the questions are gonna be I don't want you shaking in your boots.
I feel like I'm in a garden with all that the flowers there.
You like?
Yeah.
You like?
You
All right.
should
So
have
let's.
brought the jacket that has the roses.
Yeah. I'll bring that
I
one
could've
next
put
time.
that one on.
I'll bring that one. I think I'll bring that on a special. Yeah, because
Special occasion.
a special, maybe on the 100th episode, we'll probably bring that. All right, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Vic,
Mm-hmm.
where and when were you born?
Where and when was I born?
Mhm.
Okay, so I was born here in Los Angeles,
Okay, let's say this.
locally at the old General Hospital.
Mm. All right.
When? Sometime in the early 90s. Late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in there.
All right. All
Mhm.
right. All right.
Possibly.
What month?
February.
February. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The
You
month
share a
of
birthday with
love.
somebody, don't you? Huh?
Do I share a birthday? We might possibly have something in common. We might even be twins. I don't know which one's the older twin and which one's the younger twin.
Yeah. Fin de semana. All right, cool. So you was born in LA, born and raised, and somewhere between the 80s and 90s. We don't want to get. We don't want you to guess his age just yet. He's a little old though. Yeah. He's a little old. He's reaching.
I was there for the sinking of the Lusitania. That was what started World War One. So,
I was laughing because I don't know what that was, but it sounded like an old thing.
It was.
So I knew the
before
concept.
The Titanic.
Cool. All right. So Vic, tell me, what was your childhood like?
What was my childhood like?
What was your childhood like? And what were you like? What were you like as a child?
Sure.
So yeah, tell me about your childhood.
So obviously both of my parents were immigrant parents.
Okay.
So we didn't have all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But they try to provide as much as they could. So it was very humble beginnings for sure.
Okay.
I grew up around Koreatown. Back way before it was the Koreatown that we know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what'd you do as like a child? Like, did you have friends? Did you play like? Did you go outside a lot? Were you inside? Were you?
I haven't like looked back at my childhood for a very long time now. But let's see. Friends? No, I was a loner. Everything was just kidding. I did have friends. A lot of my friends were older though.
Okay.
A lot because we used to live in an apartment building and in this building it was very few kids, but it was mostly older kids.
Yeah.
We used to hang out with them there, and
okay, cool.
That's kind of how I developed. Mm-hmm.
And then so now tell me, as a child, like what were you like? Were you to yourself kind of? Were you very outgoing, very quiet? Tell me about who you were as a child.
As a child,
if like as much as you can remember, of course.
Okay. I think I was a little bit of both, but mostly I've always liked to tinker. I've always liked to tinker, and to tinker for me, I have to be alone. So I've always liked to play around with stuff and like see how things work, take it apart and put it back together.
Yeah.
That's always been kind of my I guess that's how I play.
That's how you played. So you never really played like video games much. Board games.
I did play some video games.
Yeah.
Not a lot of board games. I think I didn't play I played Monopoly once with my cousins. The very first time I think I played it was with my cousins who lived about a block away in a different building. Yeah. And I played Monopoly with them once and I really liked it. And then I never played it for I didn't play it for 10 years until again sometime in the future.
Yeah.
And that was a little fun. Video games, I like to a certain level, like a very, very minimal level. So I would play things like, let's see, what would I play? I had a Super Nintendo. So we played some Mario, which I like. I like kind of, those are the games more for me, right?
Yeah,
Something that's only me. I don't have, I'm kind of getting to understand things.
Yeah.
As opposed to one where it's like me versus somebody.
Yeah.
Like Smash Brothers or something like that.
Okay.
Especially with my brother, right? Because my brother is really good at games.
Yeah.
It's like his second nature.
Yeah.
First week, I'll get the game real quick. I'll get him, right? So I can beat him. But this guy becomes obsessed. And then after that,
dominating,
it's just the margin becomes so large.
At that point, you don't even want to play.
I don't even want to play. I just don't even want to play.
Yeah.
Because, because he's always going to kick my ass.
Last question on question 2 is like, did you enjoy your childhood? Like, did you enjoy that period of your life?
I think I was very aware as a child, and I think I was grateful for the things that I did have. There was a lot of things that obviously my parents tried but couldn't provide.
Yeah.
But I gotta say that a lot of that stuff that happened there is what's made me who I am today.
Got you. So it was impactful.
It was very impactful.
Okay.
It was very impactful to be able to see the contrast. Right. I wasn't around. I'm not going to be able to say, I can't say that I was around, a contrast of rich people because there wasn't a lot of rich people in that neighborhood. Yeah. At least not that I knew of.
Yeah.
But I was in a contrast of a lot of different families and a lot of different ways of thinking because my dad is a very specific way of thinking. And I think that's kind of shaped also the way that I look, the outlook of life that I have.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for that. Number 3. Yeah, get that water in. Get that
Oh,
water.
that's only the third question?
Yeah.
Jesus, what are you interrogating me here? Okay.
All right. What is your earliest memory?
My earliest memory.
Like, what is your early and that's literally that's what the question says. But I'm thinking like, what is the earliest things you remember? I guess that's the question. Like, what's your earliest memory? It doesn't have to be your earliest memory as a kid. What is the first thing when you think of like the first thing you can remember? What is that?
I remember sitting next to God and Him saying, "You know what? You're gonna be the blessing I'm gonna send down to earth."
That early? Damn.
that'd be interesting.
That
I
would.
wonder how those things happen. Right?
Yeah.
There's a movie. I don't know if it's Soul
I think
or
a Disney movie?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Soul, but there's another one where that stuff happens, and it's a pretty interesting movie.
Yeah, it might be Souls.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Mhm.
But
So yeah, what's your earliest memory that you can?
Earliest memory. Huh. It's kind of difficult because I don't have timing on a lot of these things. But one of the
I mean, I guess it's just the best of your knowledge.
So,
like, what do you?
one of the earliest things, like and some of this is I've seen photos, right? So is it me recalling the photo or is it me recalling the memory itself?
Yeah.
Right, but but one that I can remember is my parents taking me to Echo Park when I was a kid, and there was like a lot of swans or ducks or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's a photo of me with that too, and it's a fond memory of going to the park, and yeah, it was before maybe my brother was already born. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But it was
so
nice.
they took you to Echo Park, and they have a picture of that.
Yeah, there's
Felt good.
Well, from what I remember, because I hadn't been back to Echo Park in years, right, in decades.
Damn.
And then recently we went back and they like renovated the whole thing, and it looks real nice, right?
Mhm.
Which is nice to see, right? It's nice to see when parks look good,
Yeah.
right? Like I think as a city, as a civilians, as a society, like we should cherish parks and
absolutely.
places of recreation because it does something to the spirit.
To the environment. Cool.
Yeah.
So that was your earliest memory, going to Echo Park with the fam, with
Echo Park with
the
family,
parents.
Yeah. I've always wanted to go into those little swan bicycle things.
Yeah. Same. I've never been. Never been.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's question 3. Number 4. Who was your hero growing up? Why? And how did they influence you?
It has to be my dad.
Okay.
Right.
Dad, the hero.
Yeah, because obviously I didn't know this as a kid, but when I was born, just before that, my dad had broken his hands his hand in one of the doing what he was doing in the boats, right, in the ships. He used to be a merchant marine, and so they used to transport supplies to different countries, different kinds of supplies and stuff. He worked for a shipping company, and so he had broken his arm, and my mom tells me the story that he was so disappointed because he felt that he couldn't provide, right? And even then they figured out how to make income during that times. And this is an interesting story because I didn't at first I was like, okay, why would they do that? But now that I look at that, so if you look at Aldi, I don't know if you've ever been to an Aldi, but Aldi is if you take out a cart, I don't know if they still do this, but up until a few years ago they used to. Then if you take a cart, you put a quarter in, like to take a cart, right? And then you go inside and you shop or whatever. When you come back out, you put the cart back on and it gives you a quarter back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So back in the days when my parents first arrived, that was what my parents used to do for money. They used to collect all the carts from like the Vons. The Vons on, what is that? 3rd and I want to say Vermont.
Vermont.
Yeah.
Dang,
So,
that Vaughn's been there for a while then.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's been there since the beginning. So they used to go there and they used to put the carts away and they would get the quarters for the people that just left the carts in those parking spaces. So they would just grab that and put that, and that's how they would buy my milk and stuff.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild. Okay, so your dad obviously is your hero.
Yeah. So
how's he influenced you?
So all that stuff, right? Obviously, I wasn't privy to that information before.
Right.
but I've always seen my dad work really, really hard,
Mm.
really, really hard, and which is good. Now that I look back at it, which is good and bad at the same time. But
Mm-hmm.
the good of it is that to me, observing that, it makes I can't complain about a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Because he used to work construction and all this stuff that he used to do, and he would have 2 jobs just to be able to provide, right? So he would do all of that. So me as a kid observing all of that, it made me kind of take all that information in, and that's why I do believe that kids emulate their parents
Yeah.
based off of the information that they receive. Even though you might not see that your kids are paying attention, they are. They're
Yeah.
looking at everything.
Oh, absolutely.
So and that, so I would see how hard he would work. So that made me admire him, and then he would have advice and stuff like that to me really worked.
Damn.
So I got into this habit of just kind of, I don't know how it became a thing, but I would just listen, because sometimes he would sit us down and we would play a little bit, and not a lot. It's like we'd play 5-10 minutes or whatever, but then he would tell us stories and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I would listen to those stories, and those stories are the ones that those are the lessons that kind of stuck with me, and overall it kind of built who I am today.
Damn. So would you say like his influence, like him has influenced you to be like a hard worker?
He's
In your
influenced
end-
me into it, not yes, that working hard and not complaining about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
Because it's important to understand that, yeah, you can work hard, but you can be complaining about it, and that just gets in your way,
Yeah.
as opposed to just doing it, getting over with it, and on to the next thing.
Shout out Pops, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Pops. All right. Appreciate that. What is your happiest childhood memory that you can think
Happiest
of?
Childhood memory.
A memory that you got as a child that was happy, that you were like,
Let's see. As a child, besides the park and doing all those things, going, I think a lot of my memories also revolve around going to parks and stuff.
yeah.
I remember the Rose Park here at USC
Mhm.
as I was a kid, going to that and enjoying and seeing the flowers in full bloom. In full bloom. Yeah. That's very enjoyable. Spending time with my family doing that.
Cool. So like, yeah, you've always been into flowers and stuff, and
I've
like
always been into nature.
nature.
But I like color, so that's why flowers.
So going to okay, yeah, that's a great.
So even though, yes, I like being in nature, but I like to see the different contrasts in colors.
Cool. So as we talked about your happiest memory, right, that you can think of currently.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer, of course. Going to the park with your going to the Rose Park right here, you by USC, seeing the flowers with your fam.
Science Center.
Science Center. So as we get to that, I'm gonna hit you with a left hook right here. What is a difficult or painful childhood memory? What's something that you can think of that was like hurtful, painful, traumatizing, whatever the case may be?
Let's see. There's a few. I can think of a few.
Cool.
And I don't know if they're painful, but I think now looking back is potentially something that could be seen that way, right? But I think these are kind of life experiences that shape you, and for me particularly. So when we were younger, when I was younger, there used to be a church down somewhere by the 101 freeway. Now, every time I drive by there, I have a general idea of where it was, but I do not remember. But I do remember walking with my parents and my brother, walking late night from a church that was giving out food. So we used to go and my parents got some food, and all of us would carry like the bags home. We didn't have a car then, so we would carry the bags all the way home. And it's around, I want to say it's around like that 101 exit you use to go towards like Virgil. I can't remember the street name, but I remember that. And we used to walk from there all the way down to like Alvarado and past that. But that's the general area there. And yeah, that's one of the things where, like, we used to go and get food from these food banks and stuff. Which that's why, to me, there's a sincere appreciation for that kind of resource, right? Yeah, and that's probably the one that sticks out, or the one where I had to sell some of my toys so I could get new toys.
Mm. So I'm trying to think like that church story, right? We're getting food and stuff. It was painful or hurtful in a way because like you had to go to those places
Because
to
you
get.
have to go to those places to be able to have
To-
enough food for you.
Like
and
you
your
couldn't just
family.
go. You didn't have the luxury of going to a market, getting food, and buying whatever you wanted.
Correct.
Like,
Just saying like now, right? Like
yeah.
I can go and say like, oh, I want that. I want to try this. I want to try that.
Damn, my boy.
Yes.
All right. My bad,
You
player.
know, you don't get Saratoga or Mountain Valley just for fun, right? I mean, that's what you get it exactly for.
Yeah, that's exactly
Because
what you get it for.
water is water.
Water
right?
is water. Exactly.
Ultimately, right? Yes, there's a differentiation in taste, that for sure. Before I didn't believe in that, but since I became a water connoisseur,
Sommelier.
oh yeah, a water sommelier,
Mm-hmm.
there's a difference.
Okay.
Right?
So that's kind of like, okay. Yeah, I see why. Like it's just like you didn't have the luxuries and like you didn't have, like what you had to do was resort to things like that, which I can. Okay, now I see that.
So that's what I'm saying, right? So it's I've been in those places, I've seen that, and I've felt that life, I've lived through that life, right?
Yeah.
So which is why I can empathize with a lot of people that have, a lot of our people who have immigrated to the country that have to go through those things, or people that just don't have a lot. I can empathize with the difficulties there.
Yeah, that's a great. Thank you again for your answer. I'm gonna thank you every answer. All right. What memories are strongest for you from your teenage years? So when you were a teenager, what's a strong teenage memory that you can recall? Scoring a touchdown, because I know you were on the bench.
I can remember. Possibly, I think that might have been a concussion. I never got that checked.
Damn.
What's it called? I remember teenage years. I remember. Well, a few actually.
Look at him.
Yeah, I'm over here replaying kind of the memories. I remember a few. It just depends on what we want to get into.
Yeah. It's a strong one.
Each one of those have kind of shaped me in different ways.
Okay. Well, the one that comes to your mind, whatever you want to share.
So one that comes to mind is joining a program where I was able to go and ride bicycles all over the city.
What? That was a program?
Yeah, it was a program.
That's cool.
It was a police program. I can't remember what it was called. But you would ride around with the police officers and, just kind of go around. And I was,
with police officers?
Yeah.
What?
So
that's cool.
So you would roam around kind of the whole city. First they had some short distance and they had some longer distance until you got.
That's so cool.
Kept up with the program enough to where you got to the marathon. So I did the marathon on a bicycle because of
what? You never told me that.
Yeah, I know. I've never had to recount my childhood memories.
Yeah, hey, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's super dope. Okay, so why would you say that's a strong like thing? Like, what has it? What did it build in you, or what? Yeah, like why would you say it's strong? It's strong, I'm sure, but like, why do you think it's strong?
One, because the program was nice to have, kind of like a community of people that were kind of in the same thing. They were looking for the same thing, right? We weren't harming anybody. We were just having a good time and doing
traveling.
Things, traveling, right?
Yeah.
It was different. It separated me from my environment that I was used to.
Yeah.
Right. It was hanging out with different people of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it provided just something different. A different environment. Plus, with the added bonus of you got to ride around bikes and you got to go to the marathon.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like actually, there's a building in downtown LA that we helped the police officers move into, which is now vacant. It's been sitting vacant for a while since they left it. So,
my bad, Chief. My bad, my bad, Chief. Yeah. I gotta start calling you Chief by now, man. You do it all. You mechanical chief now. What else? You cook, clean, get my read. You a CEO, a chief, chef.
Yeah.
My bad, player. My bad.
I
gotta give you your flowers for that one, man.
Do a little construction.
Cool. Well, that's a cool experience too. That's a cool story. Next question. So now we had childhood, teen. Now we get into your 20s and 30s. Because
I'm still in my 20s.
You have a.
Hell
no! Look at him.
I'll be able to answer that one.
Man, look at him. Oh, that. All right. What events or experiences were most significant to you during your 20s or 30s, like around that time?
20s or 30s.
A significant
Significant. And this started just shy of my 20s, right? This was a very important time in my life. Because interesting enough, I was sitting bored at home. And I used to I used to spend some time watching TV, but I always wanted it to be educational. So PBS was my thing, right? So I would be flipping through the channels, and on the weekends, PBS always had some sort of something going on, which was either they were selling you a program or like National Geographic kind of type thing.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
It was something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on this weekend, I was bored and I was flipping through the channels on TV. I was like 17, 18 probably. So. And I saw this and this is kind of what shifted my direction a lot.
Oh, wow.
This is kind of one of those moments of impact where you hit an inflection point and then you just shoot in a different direction, right?
Wow.
So, and this is kind of what I contribute, and this is why to me, sharing information and stuff like that. And I always keep going back to the metaphor of the candle, right? Where one candle lights the other candle, and now you have more light because you have two candles that are lit, and the first candle doesn't lose anything because it lit the other one up.
Right.
So I flip into the channels and I see this Asian dude, and he's just like saying things, and he's like sitting in this car thing, and he's like saying like, oh yeah, not having financial education is like driving a car without insurance or driving a car without the steering wheel. And he starts being silly about it. And it caught my attention. I was like, okay, like what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
So I sat there and I started listening to what he was saying. I was like, that stuff makes sense. How come I don't learn this in school?
Dang. I see. I see.
And so to me, obviously I was, given to my previous history, which you kind of heard a brief synopsis about, caught my attention and made me interested. And I was very intrigued by it. And then, so then he said, he went on and he was selling a course, and I think it was the board game too, maybe it was just a course, but it was Robert Kiyosaki, which to a lot of people out there in the internet, they probably contribute the same inflection point, right, to his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Dang, it was him?
That's him, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
And it's just, sometimes things happen in your life that you just really can't connect the dots until you're looking backwards.
Yeah.
Right. And so I saw that and I was like, well, obviously I can't afford a $400, $500, whatever his program was then. I couldn't afford it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to set myself a goal to go to one of his programs. And, but let me see. So I saw that he had a book and I went and I picked it up. I don't know where I got the book, but somehow the book ended up in my hands, right? And I still have the same original book in my library somewhere. And I began to read it. And as I read it, the more and more, like, it just intrigued me. And that was the first book besides A Child Called It, which was a school book that I had to read, which really also intrigued me. I wasn't a big reader then. Books weren't my thing. Yeah. Well, at least not that I knew. And then I read it from cover to cover. And then that book just kind of, the lights went on.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is a crazy, crazy story. How you were just bored scrolling.
Looking
scrolling through TV, not TikTok.
Scrolling through TV, yeah, because back then TikTok didn't exist. None of those existed. I don't even know if Facebook was around. Maybe Facebook was around. No, not Facebook. Maybe Facebook was still in
Tumblr?
In the thing where it was just for Harvard, because MySpace.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, MySpace.
Cool.
So then that kind of sparked a dynamic chain of events.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for that. All right. So this question is about children. Obviously, you don't have any. But can you describe your decision to not become a parent? And again, of course, there's no right or wrong answer.
Well, it's not that I've made a decision not to have children.
Yeah.
There's certain goals that I have to achieve before I have children, because I want to be a very present father. Right. I want to be able to spend time with my children whenever I want to spend time with my children and
Yeah.
whenever they need me, right? So I want to be there for the soccer games. I want to be there for the spelling bees. I want to be there for all of that, right? Growing up, my father tried his best to be at those things, but I understood when he couldn't be at those and when he could, right? I mean, but I personally think that
Would it be awesome to go to all of them?
yeah, to be able to have, to show that appreciation for your child, because I think, I mean, for me personally, having a child is a magical thing, right? Because that child's going to be a reflection of you.
Yeah.
It's your own DNA, yours and your spouse's DNA just merged together, and it's going to have a combination of both of you.
Yeah.
And it's a child is just going to, it's a challenge, not just for yourself. It's a challenge for yourself, but it's not just about having another little human being, but it's a challenge for yourself to where you get to see your ultimate version, how you can become the ultimate version so that you can reflect back on them and they can pick up the same thing. So that's why I'm holding off until
You got that.
get to those points.
Sick. That's a great parenting move right there. It's gonna be a great father. All right. What historical events had the greatest impact on you?
Historical. You can come back to a lot of things. I mean, 2008, COVID.
2008, COVID.
So COVID 2020 and 2008. 2008, as I explained to you earlier, right? I had already had the knowledge of Rich Dad Poor Dad. So seeing everything that happened there, the financial crisis and what it did to a lot of the economy and what it did to people and all that stuff and how people were perceiving it, taught me a lot. Right? It was a historical event because it was one of the greatest financial crashes of up to that moment in time.
Yeah.
Where properties, where a lot of people lost their properties, and people were left not out on the street per se, but per se they were left out on the street.
Yeah.
So to the
So
point,
it impacted you in what way? Would you say?
it taught me that financial prudence is hypercritical, right?
Mm.
Because you have to be ready for that. Because back 2007 was the height of the market.
Yeah.
Everybody was like this,
Making money.
Everybody was making hand over fist. People that maybe had no knowledge about business were in business making money. Right? And then as soon as a year turned,
Crashed.
things started cracking. Right, big financial institutions that before were impeccable. Well, now we started to see some fissures in their financials, and stuff started to break and things like that. So by July, you had one of the biggest financial institutions asking for help. By Obama's election in November, I mean the stock market was crashing, property values were dropping like a rock.
Damn.
Yeah. I remember one of my first trades ever was when I was in this was. Probably late 2008. One of my first trades ever was Wachovia. Wachovia used to be its own entity, right? But Washington Mutual, which WAMU, both of those were absorbed into other company. I think Wachovia was absorbed into Wells Fargo, so I made a little money on that because when it was heard that Wells Fargo was buying them, the stock went up. So boom, I made some money there. And then WAMU was bought up by Chase. And Chase, you wouldn't see Chase in the West Coast. Chase was an East Coast bank.
Yeah.
It came into the West Coast once it absorbed WAMU. So when it absorbed Washington Mutual, then it came to the West Coast. And then it's ever since, it's like the presence has just expanded.
Damn. So okay.
So that's a historical event that shifted my mentality. And my thinking. And
beautiful.
Is it's like Warren Buffett says, is like I think it goes further back than that, but is buy when there's blood on the streets. He says it a little bit nicer in a nicer way, right? But ultimately, what he's saying is like when everybody's scared, you got to look because there's opportunity. There's opportunity, and that's another thing I noticed, right? There's opportunities in every single market. It just depends on how prepared you are, right? Because in 2007 prior, is anything you touched, you can turn into gold, right? Everything was going up. In 2008, now that required a different mentality.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody got back down to the basics. Is cash flow. Cash flow is king. It's the ultimate thing, and that's what my good friend Jeff Bezos talks about in every single one of his letters to investors, because cash flow is king. It's liquidity. It's money in the bank.
That's deep. That is deep.
So that's I think I would say that was more, to me, was more impactful than 2020.
Yeah.
The learning lessons were bigger. The learning lessons in 2020 were very different, which we can get into in a different one.
Well, great answer. Thank you for that. Now let's move it on to a little. All right. What is the life accomplishments you are most proud of? What is one accomplishment that you're most proud of?
One that I'm most proud of, it would be retiring my parents.
Damn.
That would be the one that I'm most proud of.
Whew. Yeah. You were able to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a dream of mine.
Yeah.
To retire my parents.
Just to let them be free to do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Yeah.
And that's dope. That is dope. That is dope. All right. As you look back on your life so far, do you have any regrets?
Any regrets?
Regrets.
Limiting myself. Limiting myself by my own, because of what I think I'm capable of. Right? Because of my environment and what I grew up in, and that's why I'm a big proponent of the first 10, 15 pods that we have, right? And why each one of those is important, especially as you put them together, is because each one of those builds upon each other. And the environment thing is such an important thing, right? Because if everything you have around you is the same as what you are, well, then you think that's all there is. But if you change and you kind of change that to, you go to a different environment and you're like, whoa, how do you do that? How do you do that? You start asking different questions.
And that's what
that changes you.
That's what limiting yourself does to you, right? You limit yourself in this one circle.
Because that's all you know. Right?
Got you.
That's all you know. So
got you.
Unless you're explorative or adventurous and you just kind of figure out how to get into other circles, right? Unless you're like that, you're going to be in the same circle, right? So I always challenge everybody to hey, find different circles. Change your environment. Yeah. Right. And which is something that you do really well, is you change your environments all the time, and you always looking for something that is different to your current environment. Yeah. Which is something that I've admired in you. Yeah. Right. Because had I done that as a kid, and the way that I did it as a kid was going to seminars. Right, going to seminars, learning from different speakers, learning from different people, speaking to different people, and that showed me that there's a different world out there than the one that I knew from my little Koreatown. Right? Yeah, there's one time I went to a seminar where they took us out in a limousine, right, to this real nice restaurant. Right, it was McCormick and Smith. The first time that I actually had some real steak. Right. Dang,
he never told me this story either. I'm gonna get pulled up in limos.
Yeah, we got pulled up and we pulled up in a limo to McCormick and Smith right there, right on Rodeo Drive. Right.
Oh man.
And as an impressionable, this was another probably thing in my 20s, as an impressionable 20-something-year-old. I thought about this and I was like, wow, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to
pull up on a restaurant,
on any restaurant, especially here in Beverly Hills, and go eat and stuff, right? And that always stuck with me.
Damn, beautiful. Thank you. So, all right. What motivates you today and keeps you going?
What motivates me today and keeps me going? The fact that I really truly believe that I'm only operating at 5% of my capacity.
Damn.
Yeah. Understanding that there's so much more, and just kind of looking back at everything that I've done and everything that I've been able to pull off and everything, that I think I'm operating at a very, very small percentage of my potential. So being able to just kind of see what's the greatest. When I die, I want to know that I reached 100%. Yeah. So that's
what keeps you going.
That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going because, like I said, when I die, I want to know that in all of that, I want to know that I got to the highest possible version of myself.
Because think about it. You said you're only operating at a small percentage right now, and what you have done already. Mm-hmm. Imagine 100% version of you. Right. You're going to be flying. I'm going to be like, was that a plane? No, that's just Vic flying across.
Yeah, it's just Vic. He'll be back.
He'll be back. He'll be all right.
But you know, and that's I watched the story of Henry Sugarman. I think I've told you about that.
Yeah.
You know, and what he was able to do. It's said to be a true story or based on true events. So that
You never know, man.
yeah. That might be.
So that's what keeps you going. Keeps you going is like reaching the full potential of yourself.
My
Like
full potential.
you're excited to see what that 100% Vic looks like.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool. All right. And we're down to our last two questions. Damn, already.
Jesus.
Well, we went rapid fire, but you gave us some good insight for sure. I can definitely use that. What was this interview experience like? What would you
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice to be able to kind of look back at things you kind of just stored away in your library. You haven't pulled up. You're dusting off the jackets, and you're
yeah.
oh, that's right, that did happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's nice,
Enjoyable.
very enjoyable.
All right, and we did it on a pod.
And we did it on a pod.
This is for y'all. This is for
Especially
y'all
because I've heard the comments is like, wait, when are you? We're gonna know about Vic.
Yeah, they want to hear about Vic.
We went deep on this one.
They want to hear about Mr. Vic Thor on this side. All right.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is not a question on here, but I want to say, would you change anything of this experience that I gave, this interview? Would you
This
change?
particular
Yeah.
interview?
Would you change anything? Just for curiosity.
Maybe know that you were gonna ask me 17,000 questions.
Yeah, I just brought it up to him like as soon as I pulled up. I'm like, yeah, I got.
You pulled up to the studio and they just say, hey.
Pulled up to the studio. All right, baby, let's get it. Last question, and it ends on 15, which is my birthday. Let's get it. All right. What advice would you like me to tell my classmates for working with your generation in a clinical or psychological setting? So I'm trying to see what that question is asking. So like, what advice would you give me to tell my classmates? For
Be curious.
Okay. Be curious.
Be curious. I think our generation, the millennial generation has gone through a lot.
Yeah.
Has gone through a lot. We've seen all kinds of from then to now, we've seen all kinds of things, all the shifting of the world too, right?
Yeah.
We are the generation that got to see life before the cell phone and as it is today.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like the bridge in the middle of it all, right? And I think be curious. You might be able to pick up a few things from our life experiences and how life has shifted prior to technology and after technology, what it was like. I think that's ultimately what I would say is curiosity.
Curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
genuine curiosity.
Genuine curiosity. Yeah, just go out and explore,
Just
man.
ask the question.
Figure out. Ask questions. Why?
Be you. Ask why. Just because you really truly want to know. And once that comes through, everybody's looking to talk a little bit. Everybody's wants a listening ear. And if it's a genuine and you can genuinely help somebody, you're probably going to do it.
Well, Vic, those are the questions that I have to ask. I'm going to write a paper on that. So thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
For giving me material that I can use.
So I'm waiting to hear that helicopter pull up with my in and out.
No, Vic, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Because this was the pod, right? We could have done another pod. Like you said, you wanted to talk about gratuity, gratefulness. So maybe we'll talk. That'll be next week.
Will be the next one.
But I appreciate your time, appreciate your answers, and for all of you, there you go. You have it. A little, it's not everything, but we looked under the sheets a little bit. We pulled over the sheets. Hey, there's Vic. There he is. Got to hear a little bit about you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Cool stories. I haven't even heard some of those.
Yeah.
So
most of those you haven't.
It's nice for you to go back and just think too as well, like just of your past and your history.
And that's why questions are important.
Questions are important.
And
Curiosity.
I always say curiosity is hyper important. And the questions that you ask are very important because that's going to, one is the person, and I told this to you while we were at work and everything too, is the person that asks the questions leads the conversation. It's not the person that's talking that's leading, it's the person that's asking the questions.
Huge piece of advice right there.
Absolutely.
Huge gem right there.
Because that person is the one that's changing the conversation based off of where things are going.
Wow, that was great.
So have that genuine curiosity, ask the questions, and you're going to get to a very different perspective of life.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a different story to tell.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. I mean, time went by already. I think we went over a little
I
bit, but
think we did, but
you know,
let us know. Let us know if you want us to run one on Nate.
Okay. Oh, all right. It's an exclusive, it's a little special one. But yeah,
CIA style.
We'll love to see how that would be cool answers to do. I just appreciate all of y'all coming in again, listening. You know, I truly love doing this. I love it. Even if I'm getting $0 out of this, like, I love it. I love doing this. I love being here. I love having conversations. I love being in this environment. I love having a microphone right here. I love everything about it. I love the lights. I love this damn setup we got here. I love everything. Look, we got the little Trojan right there.
I just threw him in there. Yeah.
You know,
I think it would be a good addition, so I threw him in there.
So, I mean, Vic, thank you again for your time,
absolutely,
for your answers. I have nothing left to say. Just thank you. I'll be back next week for sure.
Thank you all for tuning in again to the U Experience, and I hope you got something out of that. And you know, it all you all start somewhere.
Yeah.
We're not going to start at our end point. We're going to start at our beginning point and let that get you to your end point. As long as you stay curious, as long as you just keep looking for whatever is going to get you to that ultimate version of yourself, that wanting to be 100% of yourself, and you lose that victim mentality, because I could have said, "Whoa, me," right?
Mm-hmm.
So many things that weren't given to me, but it's just not having that victim mentality is super important.
Yeah.
I think if anything I could contribute is be curious. Don't victimize yourself.
Yeah.
If stuff happens to you, it happens for a reason, just like whatever happened to you, right? It happened for a reason. Now it's shifted your life.
Yeah.
Same thing for you all. So that's all for me.
Thank y'all again. We love you. Thank you. We'll see y'all next week. That's
See
it.
you on the next one. Be good, everybody.
No mic drop, but mic spin. I'm out of here, baby. Let's get it.